We're here. This is Kent Rollins, the Chuck Wagon Cook. We're here at the Certified Angus Beef Meat Lab and the Education Culinary Center. Thanks for letting me tag along on your visit here. It's been really an eye-opener for me, and I know you've enjoyed your time here too. We went through a little bit of a meat cutting here earlier, and we talked about some of the quality of the beef out there and the different cuts on the carcass. And I wanted to ask you about what can the industry be doing a little bit better from your perspective as a cook out there in the industry in terms of some of the overlooked cuts. What are some of the cuts that maybe you find that the industry could be doing a better job of using, and how do they get that word out and start using them a little bit better?
You know, the thing that, and first of all, I'd like to thank CAB for bringing us in. It's such a pleasure to meet you, my friend. It is. The overlooked cuts of meat, you know, there's a lot of them out there, but the overlooked ones too are sometimes the cheaper cuts of meat. Not saying the quality isn't as good because it's there, especially when it's certified Angus beef. But let's look at the sirloin. But people are so misconceived when they see sirloin, especially from my point of view where I was raised. It's cut bone in, one big slab of meat, you know. Well, people now and consumers are wanting to see this. Let's separate them muscles, just like Dr. Phil told us, just like I've been doing for years. Let's take them individual pieces of meat. Then you can make this thing look like a fillet. It may not be a fillet, but it's still got the marbling, still got the stuff in there. Let's look at the sirloin, take it in littler pieces, or the sirloin steak itself. You can cook these up the same way you do anything else. Whether you grill them, you bake them, you fry them, but it's still a good cut of meat, and it's a cheaper cut of meat. We use a lot of those in casserole dishes, a smothered steak, something like that. So pair it with something like that to where you can say, hey, here's your cheaper way to have supper tonight. You know, you're not spending $38 on steak. You're getting enough to feed your family for half that, you know, or even less. So, and the flank steak's same way. Skirt, there's a lot of great taste in there. So a lot of people are just using this. Hey, this is a fajita meat. You know, we're gonna make taco meat out of it, something like that. Hey, it's good by itself. That stuff has a great flavor. If you can get it right where the marbling is in there, let's advertise this flank meat and this skirt steak as steak itself. Let's not chop it up carne asada. Let's not put it in something that's a fajita. Let's keep it as what it's meant to be, steak. That's what it is.
So I would be remiss to not ask you, you have a cookbook coming out,
yes,
correct? So tell us a little bit more about that, and you know where some of the viewers can find some information about that as well.
April 7th of 2015, we have a cookbook coming out through Houghton Mifflin in New York. It's a cookbook that me and my sweet wife Shannon made. All the pictures that are in there, be ranch photography and food photos, are ours. But it's a typical ranch setting. I mean, there's great scenery pictures in there, and we cook on working ranches. I've been at the far end of the spectrum when you're talking about beef. I'm out there where it's raised. I've seen it from all sides. So this cookbook has a whole lot to offer about the simplicity of the dishes that are there, the canned goods that go with beef, stuff like that, the beef, how you can fix it to make it more tender. And people can go to Barnes & Noble or Amazon.com right now and just put in there a Taste of Cowboy, and it'll come right up. My big face, ugly face is on the cover. But you can pre-order, save nearly $10 right now. So it's a great deal. We look forward to it coming out. But simplicity, and that's what cutting beef is. It's never been something that I felt uncomfortable with, and it was sure nice of Dr. Phil, but don't get me mixed up. This ain't the Dr. Phil some of y'all might think of. This guy's better, you know. So let's look at meat the way it was cut, the way it's meant to be cut, and let's use some of them cuts that are sometimes overlooked. And there's a lot of pieces in there that people never see because at times it was getting just made into ground meat or stew meat. So when it comes from good quality, like Certified Angus Beef has, and you get this moderate degree of marbling that's in their steak and in their meat, then you can use this steak for what it's meant to be, steak, not ground meat. Perfect.
Well, thanks again, Kent, and I appreciate once again meeting you, getting to hang out with you on this trip, and seeing, you know, learning some of the knowledge that you have that you can share with me, and it's been a great experience, and I know you've enjoyed it too, and I agree. I thank Certified Angus Beef for having us out here too. So
it's a great place to be. I'm so glad that, you know, you don't think of it as cow country or cattle country, you know, but it's a great place to come, and you get to step back and see the way meat is produced, but you always too see how it's cut.
That's right.
Biggest part of a lot of meat is what's took care of it after it died.
That's right. Well, thanks again, Ken. I
Thank you,
appreciate
brother.
it.
My pleasure.